Okay, no major change in scene, but basically in the last couple of days we've just been going through the clearances and the regulations and stuff that we need to go through, and what we need to have clearances for us to submit our proposal. Now these are the proposals for Anya, the $430 roughly $1 million development in Colombo, for Union Place, which is the $100 million one, and then Frontier, which is the $150 million roughly. So the things that we need are the drainage division. So for that we need to basically submit a proposal with the drawings at 1 to 1,000 scale, basically showing like how we're going to connect with the existing drainage channels. The clearance regarding the underground water lines. So I think that's how we integrate with the or whether we affect the groundwater, so the groundwater aquifer, so when we do the piling, especially for the towers, the street line and building line certificate. So I think that's just to articulate what our boundaries are, and again we need to submit drawings for that. Coast conservation clearance, that's mainly for Frontier. That makes a difference, I think. Basically, if we're within 300 meters from coastal permanent vegetation lines, so if the developable land is within 300 meters from the coast, so if we're within 300 meters of that coastal line, which we're on the coast, we have to submit a coast conservation clearance. So basically, I think I need to double check what that actually means, but whether we're, I think, affecting, because basically when you're closer to the coast, the groundwater aquifer comes up, it starts to rise as you get towards the actual coast, and then your saltwater line starts to decrease, obviously, as the sea comes inland. So you have this meet between so this is the groundwater coming up, and then you have the sea, and then the saltwater line starts to come up with this. So basically, if you're extracting a lot of groundwater here, you're basically pushing the saltwater line up. So you're at risk of contaminating that, and then you're going to affect the vegetation around the coast. So I think you need to show. I think that clearance is about how one resolves that situation. Civil Aviation Authority clearance. That's for towers in Colombo, and we're proposing 2 towers. One's 32 story, and the other one is 85 stories at the max. That's Anya. The condominium management clearance. Okay, that's because we're going to have a lot of apartments. Again, that's for Anya and for Union Place. Urban Development Authority clearances. So that's basically anything within the Colombo city. So that's, I think, almost like a standard planning application. Just showing what we're planning. Clearances for other reservations. So what does that mean? That is, okay, so if we're affected by the railway, river, road, and or any other reservation. So yeah, for Anya, we're on the road. Again, Union Place, we're on the road. So I think we basically need to show how we're integrating our proposal with the traffic system. We're not affecting any river system. Fire clearance, again, this is for any development above 4 stories. Let me just double check. I think it's above, consisting of floor stories and above. So yeah, we're well above that with 32 and 85. And for that, we basically need to show, there's a fire requirements application form, so I need to basically go through that and figure out what that is. And then the solid waste management clearance. So we basically need to show our quantums in the building and how much waste we're going to be producing and putting into the city municipal waste water management, and even so solid waste. Okay, so solid waste management clearance. Okay, so that's basically how much waste we're going to be producing. We have to compute it for the different programs, so like the residential, the office, hospitality, commercial, retail. So I mean, for Anya, that's going to be quite a lot actually, and Union Place can be a lot as well. We have to basically compute it, and then National Colour Code for segregated waste, so we need to show the different types of waste, and then how we're going to be managing it in-house, and the waste minimisation technique, so we're not just dumping everything into the municipality. We need to show that we're being efficient, we're recycling, and obviously we're going to be aiming to have the highest standards, right? So we basically, okay, fine. So we need to basically compute this and show it together with the architectural drawings. So those are all the clearances that I needed. So with all those clearances and with our proposal, basically package, that's what we need to basically get this thing passed. So I mean, like, investment or no investment, like without this, there is no project. So that is next on my to-do list in terms of prioritizing that, and then figuring out who can help in delivering that work, which consultants we can tender out to. So yeah, that's kind of the stage we're at. Also, yesterday, I basically wrote up 100 long list of all the potential investors from India, Singapore, and Malaysia that we could be targeting. And again, we need to raise 100 million for Union Place, 425 or 424, I say 430 for Anya, so that's 530 altogether, and then 150 for Frontier. So that's 680 million altogether. So, and we're setting up the fund to basically to place this investment again, because we're going to be raising investment from foreign sources. So the fund is a more efficient way of us managing the money and allocating it to these projects. It's more tax efficient. It's easier for the foreign investor basically to participate in the real estate sector in Sri Lanka. So so we need to prepare those sort of advertisement and marketing material for that. Obviously the company's established now, it's set up, we've got our team, we've got a core team of 7 people. Again, it's myself, Wei Kai Lau, Andrew Spear, Adrian Alfara. Then that's on the project side, and on the fund side it's Mark Dangle, Ramesh Abhiyaratna, Mukhtar Madakar, and myself as well. I'll be doing the project allocation for the fund, and we've got Tulsi Balendra, that's who's helping on our legal side, and obviously we've got our partners BDP, Brian Cave, Viceroy Hotel Group, whom we are partnered with for the executive architecture role, for the land acquisition and transaction law role, and hotel operating and residency management role. We're potentially going to be partnering up with Ascot International as well, who do specialised residence management, and that's mainly for Anya. But that's basically the kind of team that we're building up right now. So it's becoming more and more real. Again, I'm 28 years old, CEO of my own real estate development company with projects in the region of $680 million. That's just the development cost. So in terms of our return in 5 to 10 years, I was going through the numbers this morning, and I mean our return, we're arranging an equity split we're going to be joint venturing with more established players, but I'm proposing that we take about 35% and they take about 65%. So that gives us in terms of on our return estimates, that basically gives us on a 5-year investment horizon about 272 million profit in total for P1F, and on a 10-year horizon about $658 million. So that's on the 10 year. So that's the game that we're playing at. That's the return that we're going to be getting. But that's also the amount of impact we're going to be able to reinvest back into the country, invest back into post-conflict contexts, into emerging and frontier markets, and keep producing high quality work, or the best quality work, in not just in the region but in the world. Right? I mean, that's the kind of way that we're pitching this and positioning it and aiming for. So it's all to play for. We're doing our best, and anyway, it's super exciting. This is a slightly longer post, but I've got basically a hell of a lot to be focusing on now, and but obviously I'll be keeping updated on how things go. So I'll come back with the next update. I hope you're all fantastic, pursuing your dreams too. Doesn't matter what the hurdles are, they're just hurdles, they're just challenges, that's all that they are. And the goal doesn't change, right? You just keep pushing ahead. Another update that regarding the Swiss deal. We're basically setting up a conversation between the two billionaires from the investment fund and the existing asset holders, where a potential deal could be done for a majority acquisition of the asset. So that would be again about a $600 million acquisition. So again, this is the kind of game that we're playing. It's the best thing about it is the people that we're meeting, the fact that we're striving, the fact that we're pushing ourselves, the fact that we're learning everything, from scratch. We're doing our best along the way, and we're not saying no to anything. But this all starts with passion, and that's exactly what it should be about: passion, belief, opportunity, courage, humility, gratitude, and excellence. Okay. Good luck to all of your endeavors. Good luck to all of your dreams and hopes and goals. Remember, dreams without goals are just dreams. Okay. So, good luck, and I'll come back with the next post very, very soon. Over and out. Goodbye.